Well, I want to talk to you today about something near and dear to me. How many of you believed when you were younger that you were going to be a rock star entrepreneur like you guys are here today? A few of you? How many of you kind of feel like an unexpected entrepreneur? Like, you know, entrepreneurship happened to you. You didn't plan this out. How many of you, you had entrepreneurship in your DNA and your genes and your destiny your whole time, or did you just figure it out along the way? I figured it out along the way. How many of you got a Harvard degree and a PhD in entrepreneurship? Well, I didn't get a PhD or a degree in anything other than the School of Hard Knocks. How many of you got a degree in the School of Hard Knocks? Excellent. Well, I'm here today to talk to you about something I've learned a lot about. I've learned about the subject of entrepreneurship. I know where you guys are coming from. Many of you guys, let me just ask, how many of you came from far away to be here? Like really far, like, right? How many of you had to, you had to fight some resistance? There she is. I know, how many of you feel like you had to do some sacrificing to get here, right? Spot on. I want to acknowledge you for that because that's exactly what it takes to become successful as an entrepreneur. It requires sacrifice. It requires passion. It requires the attributes that Mike had brought up here, spot on, bar none, and you guys are the embodiment of that. So, how many of you guys have dreams? I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pretend that you're on a boat with me. Let's pretend we're in Miami and we're going to get on a boat. What's a boat look like? I mean, I'm not the captain of no small ship. How big's this boat we're on? I mean, this thing is one of those boats you see in the lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? This is a boat with helicopters on it, jet skis on it, a flock of dolphins that just follow it wherever it goes, mermaids, underwater scuba gear, Navy SEAL team. What's this boat got on it, right? Who's on the boat with me? One of you is on the boat with me. We'll talk about boats a little later. I'm going to put my CEO hat on here for a second because I view you guys as my counterparts. I see you as equal CEOs to me. All of us are on a different journey on the path to building a business that one day provides for your needs, and then soon provides for the needs of your loved ones, and then soon provides for the needs of your community, and then your province or your state, and then eventually it provides for the needs of your family for generations to come. Is that not a goal that all of us have the right to share? I brought my son this week in Reagan, about to turn 3 years old, and I brought him because I wanted him to see my family, his family. I brought him because I wanted him to understand the word entrepreneurship before he understood the word job or corporate America or Wall Street or any of that other stuff. I brought him because I wanted his belief system and his programming to start fresh and have the right ideas and the right belief system from the beginning. I didn't have that. I had to reprogram myself. I still have to continue fighting the programming that was ingrained in me. You should go to work at 8 a.m. on Monday and be miserable by Friday and back to work again by Monday, right? I think all of us have our own set of programming and obstacles that we got to fight against. I'm here to tell you about the fight we're going to take together. It starts with this. I'm reflective about when we were in Kansas City 6 years ago or so. Who was with me there? Guys, look around you. Stand up if you were in Kansas City 6 years ago. Hats off to the pioneers. You know how Mike talked talked about the culture, about having high energy, about building a business that you love, that you want to be around, with people you love and want to be around. Well, 6 years ago was really when myself, Nick, and Blake, and the few people that were with us said, you know what, we're creating a different company. We're not following them MLM scammer idiots. We're not going to become some deal junkie. We're not going to go after these, network marketing floozies that believe they know so much about entrepreneurship but don't have a dollar in their bank account. Right? So in Kansas City, we launched our BMW program. We put it at $12,500 a month, and you know what everybody said? They said that we were crazy. And now, everybody's got a car program, but nobody's got the car program.
Amen, Ryan.
Kansas City, it's funny. It was an event, and I'm a man of faith, and I'm very spiritual, as you know. I don't believe anything happens without reason. Kansas City, I remember sitting there looking at 200 people going, how are we ever going to make it? And with Nick and Blake, we weathered, and the few people that were here, we weathered the storm of the recession. And if those of you familiar with the story, the founders had to go all in and invest all of our money because we believed in you, we believed in this opportunity, and we didn't care what anyone else believed. Right? And I wonder what perspective we'll have coming out of this Kansas City. I can tell you 6 years of perspective. I got the chills coming through my spine when I walked in here and I saw those chairs. I never dreamed I'd ever be in a position to have a company as successful as ours. And to me, it was never about the money, and I know I share that same value system with Nick and Blake. It was always about you. It was about changing the world. It was about the right of an average person to have life, health, and prosperity. It was never about anything else. And that's easy to say when you don't have any money, and we were saying that all along when we didn't have it. And then last year, in fact, it was 1 year ago to the day, if I recall. 1 year ago. 1 year ago to the day. My mom had just fallen down a flight of stairs. She is still tragically on life support on her deathbed in a vegetative state. Literally, if I go visit her and get her eyes to open, it's a good day. And unfortunately, that's because there's an attorney that's been appointed by the state to fight me to end her life and take her home as she would have wished. And that was 1 year ago to the date. And I'll tell you why I share that tough story. Well, many of you have been there to support me, and I thank you for that. You reached out to me, you prayed for me, you adopted me. And I thank you for that. But I share that with you because something in life is going to occur to you as the CEO of your company. It might be as simple as your foot gets run over by a car. It might be as tragic as what happened with my family situation, having lost my father and mentor and mother back to back. But something will occur. And are you going to be fortified? Are you going to be prepared to deal with it? Is your ship, that boat that you just envisioned, is it set to weather a storm? And you let that sink it. You let that pull it back to port? Or are you going to set sail on the journey that is the legacy of your family? Which one are you going to do? A man who believes in God, I'll tell you, I believe I went through a lot of these things so that way I could become a responsible leader, become a father, become a son, become the man that I'm working on becoming every single day. I haven't figured it all out yet by any means, but I can tell you this. I know this for sure. My life's calling, Nick's life's calling, Blake's life's calling, the ambassadors of this company's life's calling is right here. This isn't a game to us. This isn't an industry to us. This is a purpose to us. And in order for us to do that, we need to have clarity and certainty of leadership among us. We cannot do this by ourselves. But are you going to jump on this ship? Prepare your family's legacy for a journey that we'll all talk about and be proud about 2 years and 3 years and 5 years and 10 years and for as long as we're blessed to live. Are you going to jump on that ship with us, or is it going to set sail without you? Because right now, this company is on pace to change history. Entrepreneurs, we will either create history or we'll repeat it. And I've studied every type of business I can. I've been on the inside and outside of companies that I admire, the Apples and the Zappos, and I've been literally looking for anything I possibly can to ensure that we, as a corporate team, the team that's here to serve you, doesn't repeat history. You're not going to hear me proud of where we're at. I'm proud of where we're going. You're not going to hear me talk about money. You know why? Because I bet my life savings, as did Nick and Blake, back in on you by buying that equity stake that we did in January with Blair. All again. We went all in with you. Will you go all in with us? The decision some of you are about to make is going to be a tough one. I remember the day that I had to go fire my boss. And I remember how panicked I was, how nervous I was, my letter that I wrote, all the conversation that I had, the self-doubt, I remember that. I remember how difficult that was. And some of you are preparing that speech yourself. Some of you are going to get the confidence and the clarity, the tools, the community, and the leadership within you this weekend to do that exact event. And some of you are going to do it sooner than others, and that's okay. Each of us has our own path. Each of us has our own skill to obtain, confidence to obtain, things to overcome in order for us to be independent financially, to be independent with our health, and to liberate our families of dependence. Yeah. But at the end of the journey, would it be worth the sacrifice if that's exactly what you had? Would it be worth it to know that if your son has special needs as mine does, he can travel with the best educator in the world to make sure that his disadvantages are turned into advantages? Would it be worth it that it costs thousands of dollars to have a healthy family and you can afford it? Would it be worth it to know that you can give a legacy where it's needed? And as I've stated for myself, and I know my founders share me in this, at the end of the day, you should give all your money away anyways. It's just to whom you give it to with what instructions.
Yep.
No need to be the richest man in the graveyard.
Right.
The goal is to make the greatest change in the graveyard. The goal is to spend every ounce of your talent, and when you show up to wherever you show up, you got nothing left in you because you gave it all while you were here. Is it right? Now I'm going to ask you guys, if you believe in that, if you believe in the results of the Body by Vi Challenge, if you believe in this opportunity, if you do believe in the stories that you're going to hear this weekend, if you believe in everything that you hear and see from this great leadership, I'm going to ask you, are you willing to put it on the table and do anything by any means necessary? I mean, no sleep, no rest, take as much rejection, listen to the haters, shut them up with told you so.